Good morning, guys, and welcome to our first installment of Science with Mr. Bolin. For this first science activity, we're looking at making a straw pan flute. So the only resources you're going to need for this one is to just make sure that you have your 6 straws, which should be in the back of your folders, your scissors. Hopefully, you have a pair of scissors at home, and hopefully, you have some tape at home. If not, I'm going to be working on making mine too. So I have all my resources right here. Now, guys, one thing that you need to make sure you're doing when you're working on this activity is making sure that you're cutting each one of these a little bit shorter than the next one. So I know in our directions it says to line up your straws together and tape them. I found it a lot easier if you just go ahead and start cutting them separately. Just kind of cut them all separately, just a little bit at a time. Make sure they're all a little bit different in length, and then kind of go about taping them later. It just kind of made it a little bit easier to go ahead and do that instead of having them all taped up, because once they're taped up, it's kind of hard to cut them. So here I tried to make sure that I put a little bit of an angle on all of my straws, so that way they kind of make a little bit of a different sound. But my final product ended up looking something kind of like this. Here is my final straw pan flute. I try to make sure that all of my straws have a nice angle. I made sure to go ahead and tape on it twice right down here at the base to kind of keep them together, and a little bit closer to the top so that way they weren't kind of falling apart when I used it. When you're working on your pan flute, make sure that you're not blowing directly on top of the straws, but you're kind of just a couple inches away, so that way you hear a little bit more of that sound. We're going to be talking a little bit more this week about why each individual straw kind of sounds a little bit different when you're playing your pan flute, and hopefully you have a lot of fun making this. Make sure you're working with your parents on using those scissors, and make sure you're kind of working on all of this with your parents as you're making your pan flute this week. All right, have a lot of fun with your pan flute. Please make sure you're not annoying your parents with it. And guys, of course, please make sure you're safe. Talk to you later. Bye.